It is fight week, and we are just a couple days away from boxing at Inn of the Mountain Gods. And as the fight card I have, it has the co-main event is going to see our guest today against Clinton Chavez. We are joined by, he's not a mutant, but he is the X-Man, Xavier Madrid. How you doing, sir?
Good, Mr. Micah. How are you today?
Man, doing well as always. Appreciate you on Fight Week again, taking some time to chat me up. We got a lot to get to, but how's life? How's everything with you?
My life is beautiful, man. I can't complain. I'm a father of three healthy and happy kids. My wife is happy. Our business is up and running, so I have no complaints in the world, man. Everything's great.
Well, we'll tag along right there. You said it, the business is up and running. I love the t-shirt, Madrid Sports Performance. Talk to me about breaking off on your own, creating your own business, how this all happened.
It all kind of, it all just kind of came about, man. It sometimes things happen out of your control. I think having my own spot has always been a long-term ambition of mine since back in my high school days. That's what I wanted when I was growing up. And then as a kid, I had my own facility. I used to say I needed a spot where all my kids can run around. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what I got. So we're blessed, man. Just it came at the right time, Micah. I think truthfully it was a little bit overdue. Um, but just I was wrapped up, and being as successful as I could be, and I thought that I was in a place where that could happen. But it turns out, I'm better off on my own. So here we are, and we're open.
And what's everything that you offer at your facility?
So my background, Micah, is in athletic performance. I was an athlete, of course, but we've done everything from functional fitness to Olympic weightlifting, powerlifting, all these kind of things over the last 8 years myself as a personal trainer. So we do a little bit of everything. I do a little bit of everything. Also, my wife is here. She's a certified yoga instructor. So she has her yoga room up here in the front. I'm actually in here right now. So we do that. She's running classes right now 3 days a week, but it's looking like we're going to have to add a couple more to the schedule.
All right, all right. So a lot of great stuff. And how much yoga are we getting you doing? I know there was the stiff hips for a while.
I don't even want to lie to you, but if I didn't say zero, I'd be a liar. But I do maybe 1 or 2 days a week. You know what I mean? But it's difficult. It's painful, and I don't have the patience to sit there and really take care of myself the way that I should. So I need to be doing more.
And here we have boxing again. You got to tell me, this has definitely been probably a different camp for you.
Much different, much different. I mean, when we got the call, at that point we were still, training in a park. My son goes to school right behind our house, so we're in the elementary school. Myself and my coach now, his name's Cody Chavez. He came from me with the other spot, took from the other spot, excuse me. But we were working out at my son's school, on the basketball court, just trying to stay sharp and stay in rhythm. And but we had to kind of turn on the grind a little bit and get this gym done, and we got it done. And we've been training in the gym for about 4 weeks now. Like I said, sharpening the tools and getting ready to go.
We didn't get to do an interview, I believe, before the last one, but you took a fight, you took a big opportunity, went out there on a big stage. What did you learn from that experience?
I learned a lot, Micah, not only about myself, but about the people around me. Um, like I said before, I thought I was in a situation where I had all the tools and the necessary pieces of the puzzle to be successful. But I learned that wasn't the case. The fight itself was fun, you know what I mean? But the preparation wasn't proper. The communication wasn't proper between the team, you know what I mean? And so what I learned is that it's absolutely necessary to have the right people around you. You know what I mean? Yes, it was a great opportunity I couldn't pass up, but I think that I could have been a lot smarter about the way that those things were handled. And that's from top to bottom, not just with the fight preparation, the plans, but everything. The training, the management, all that stuff. So it was a great learning experience. I think at that point in my career, it's great to learn these things. I've kind of always learned shit the hard way in my life, excuse my language, but that's just the way it is. So it's another example for me of how not to go about things, you know. So I feel refreshed now. I feel at peace, and I just can't wait to get back to doing what I love to do.
2022 sounds like it's been a year of rebuilding, regrouping, and building your own facility. As we said, was this with this fight with Clinton Chavez here this weekend? Was it the time, the opportunity? What makes this the right time to get back in the ring and put everything into full go again?
Well, really and truthfully, the main reason I hadn't been in the ring outside of all the extra nonsense was I was dealing with a hand injury. So I tore some ligaments in my thumb in the last fight, and I was being stubborn. I didn't want to stop training when I got back from that fight, so I just kept using it, and not letting it heal. So it was kind of everything sort of worked out at the right time where, you know, I had to take some time off of my hand. You know what I mean? I'm kicked out of the gym that I lived in, that I built. That was my home. You know what I mean? So I had to sit down and really give myself that time to get back to what, you know, the I guess to get back to where I felt like I was not 100%. We're never down 100%, but to where I was ready to work again properly. You know what I mean? So that I didn't go out there, you know, a shell of myself, kind of the way that's what happened to me in Tulsa, Oklahoma, you know. But everything just worked out. You know, my hand's feeling better. I've been doing the sparring that I need to. Feels good. So I got the call for Clinton. It's a fight, you know, I had asked for last year at this time. And last year they didn't want to fight me for whatever reason, you know. And now it seemed like they were asking for me. So they see something that they like going on over here, which is great. So I heard the name. I said, absolutely. And so now here we are.
Well, then back it up real quick for me. Why were you calling for this fight originally?
Mostly because he's the local guy in my weight class, undefeated. I told you before, we want, and it's obvious, we take whatever challenge we can get, you know, and the best ones that we can. And like I said, I turned down a few fights during the time with my hand and everything where they want to fly you here and there for X amount of money to fight this guy and that guy on, you know, a week's notice and all this and that. But if I'm being a smart fighter, right, it's cool to be the tough guy. Yeah, that's great. Anybody could do that, you know what I'm saying? But I want to set myself up for success. So I had enough time to be ready for this fight. I think stylistically, it's a good matchup for me, great matchup for me. So it's all just working out at the right time.
Is there more to this fight than he's the longer guy? He's going to want to stay on the outside, and we've seen you get on the inside and make guys pay to the body. How much more is there to this one?
Well, it's a fight, really. So we don't really know what there is to it. We have the reputations of myself and him. You know, we've sparred even before in the past, a few rounds, a couple years back. So long ago, I don't really even remember how it went, to be honest with you. But he has his reputation as a rangy guy, but he's also an action fighter. He's supposedly heavy-handed. You know what I mean? I'm what I am. Like you said, I'm a body punch. I'm the smaller guy naturally, so I'm going to do what I do. But I've cleaned up a lot of technique. I've become a more well-rounded boxer, Micah. That's been my focus over this camp and even over this whole year, you know, just focusing on doing the things I need to do to be a great boxer. You know, before I was trained as a fighter, which is cool, but as a fighter, you know, we kind of crash out. We take damage to give damage, you know what I mean? And that's acceptable, but I want to be a boxer now and do things properly so that I can enjoy my time with my family when this is all said and done, you know, and take care of myself. So I think I'm going to be a whole different animal in there.
Do you feel almost like you're playing catch up? A lot of the guys doing this since they're young, and you again came from other athletic avenues before going to boxing. Does it feel like at times you're playing catch up?
Absolutely. More than that, it feels like I have to move even more intelligently because I don't have time to waste. You know what I mean? I can't just go and fight, you know, go and get 20 gimme fights and take however many years that'll take, right? Just to pad my record, you know, but at the same time, I also can't jump up and compete at the highest level when I'm not training at the highest level, if that makes sense. You know, I've always been a high level athlete. That's great. But this is a different game. You know, you can be athletic, you can be whatever. You can also not be any of those things and still be a champion. So I'm learning more the science, the skill level, I'm improving, excuse me, my skill level in the sport of boxing. Like I said, my focus is to be a boxer. Um, and now, while yes, I am older as a boxer, right? It also depends on how I take care of myself, which is something I've really been focusing on even more. We've seen people, Bernard Hopkins, one of my favorite fighters to see, right? I think 47, 49 years old as a world champion. So it's not impossible. But, like I said, I got 3 dang babies at home getting big on me. My wife, she probably, can't deal with all the stress of watching me getting my head knocked in all over the place. You know what I mean? And so I love to I want to take this as far as I can, Micah, and do it as smartly as I can. Like I said before, I didn't have somebody kind of guiding me, you know what I mean? And now, where not that I can guide myself, but I'm just trying to think more full circle and make sure all the boxes are checked, right? Rather than just jumping out there with whoever at any time, which I've shown already that I don't mind doing. I still don't, right? But I want to do this right for me because I deserve it and my family deserves for me to do this the best way that I can.
So even after the time off and even after on the record what would be considered a setback, you're still taking the hardest fight you can and a level up in competition.
Absolutely, most definitely, and that's just the way I am, Micah. I'm a worker, man. I everybody says no one outworks them, right? But I can sit here and I'll tell you that 10 times out of 10, nobody's gonna outwork me. If you know me, if you've been around me, you've seen me work, you know what time it is with me, really. So I relish the challenge. I love to know that I'm not supposed to win. Every fight I've had so far, except for the late replacement, I'm not supposed to win. And I've been a part of losing teams almost my whole life. You know what I'm saying? So a loss to me is nothing more than that day. You know what I mean? I'm gonna come right back. I'm gonna get right back to work. Like I said, I'm training at the park for God's sakes. You know what I mean? Up at 4:30 in the morning with my dog outside running. And so I'm willing to do what it takes. This is a sport where you gotta be all in, and no matter the circumstances, I'm all in. So I love the step up. But also, if we look at it, this is a step up for him as well. Big step up. So like I said, I'm excited, very excited.
On that level, you've looked at the guys that Christian's fought and you feel like you are hands down his toughest test.
Oh, Clinton, yeah, absolutely, no question. He's fought some guys with a lot of experience, a whole lot of experience. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm different. I'm different.
And you're done training outside. You have your own facility. How can people hit you up if they're interested in going to working with you?
Right now, we're getting ready to start hosting all the big events. Once this fight is over with, I want to prioritize my training. So we're open right now, just softly for friends and family, kind of. But we'll be online at Madrid Sports ABQ, I believe, is our Instagram. And then also my Instagram page, X-Man Senior, my wife's Life with Hannah, I believe hers is. We post all that stuff on there. So yeah, just Instagram right now. I have cards and stuff. We're everywhere though. You see me at the fights, come talk to me. I'm willing to work with whoever. That's for fighters too. We got plenty of space for fighters to be over here. I believe I've had some of the best sparring in town, in the state. You know what I mean? Josh Pitbull Torres comes through. We work a lot. Young man Roland Nez from up north. That kid came over here, put some work on me. And with Hondo Gutierrez, I believe his last name, at Fit, we've done some great work, so I appreciate everybody who's helped us so far. And that's what we're about, everybody linking up, joining forces, and improving the reputation, or bringing the reputation for New Mexico boxing back to where it used to be, where it should be. We've got a lot of great fighters here, man. And so I'm proud to represent my portion of it. And rather than seeing anybody as my enemy, I want everybody, of all of us, to keep collaborating, working together, and advancing, leveling up together. You know what I mean?
For sure. Xavier, again, man, thank you for the time.